Hi, I'm Alyssa. I'm also known as novel-lis over on Bookstagram. I've decided to start up my booktube a few years ago, back in 2019. Can you believe that was 6 years ago? I tried to start up a booktube and it didn't really work because about a month later I started working in a vet clinic, and the vet industry is a very demanding one. So not only did my booktube suffer, but my Bookstagram suffered because of it. So back in 2023, I was in the UK and I decided to restart my Bookstagram in the hope that it might bring my engagement and views back to what they used to be. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case for me. I had seen that it had worked for some of my fellow Bookstagrammers who had had a similar experience with Bookstagram, sort of punishing you if you're not, or not Bookstagram, I should say Instagram, punishing you if you're not publishing content sort of daily. And they had success with beginning an account again from the beginning, but that wasn't the case for me. I have had my new account running for about 2 years now, and I'm sort of in the same position that I was at least a year ago. I'm gaining followers as quickly as I'm losing them. And I'm sort of at the point where I'm like, are these real people that are following me? Are they bots? Why are they following me only to unfollow me? So that's all the lovely things that you have to think about in the realm of social media. But I have decided to take on another social media platform. Is YouTube social media? Maybe not. But another media platform, and see how I go with BookTube. So I thought this was sort of like a bit of a excuse me, reintroduction video. I have been running my Bookstagram account for almost 9 years, almost 10 years. No, I think I started it in 2016. And it came on because of my love of Jane Austen, actually. So I actually started a Jane Austen fan account on Instagram, and it was pretty popular. I had about 20,000 followers at one point there, and it sort of spurred into a bit of a period drama page as well. It was mainly still Jane Austen content, but there was a few other period drama recommendations, and then from there obviously it spurred on my reading of classics and then just reading in general, and I made a Bookstagram account from there, and then pretty much dove straight into Bookstagram more than continuing with my Jane Austen. I still have that page, I still post on it occasionally, but it too has suffered from not posting every day, and my follower count has dropped significantly, and I do struggle to reach people with those posts sometimes, but sometimes they do amazingly. So that's that. That's how I came about my Bookstagram. But my relationship with reading began very early. My parents always read to me. It has been a bit of a tumultuous relationship, as I struggled as a solo reader in my early years of primary school. I was called a slow old turtle by a teacher, a primary school teacher, which was lovely. And then a very annoying student decided that he would take that on as well. So that was really nice. But from there, I think I took that on and I really got into my reading in my older primary school years, and then fell away from reading again in high school, just because we had a lot of set books that weren't the nicest to read, so I wasn't exactly excited for reading. And then when I finished high school, got back into reading again with things like The Hunger Games, and was introduced to Sarah J. Maas, And then, yeah, getting into classics and everything with my Jane Austen account. So I thought today I would go over a few of the books that made me who I am today. And that would be a nice beginning to this booktube journey. So starting off strong, do I have it here? Yes, I do. The Narnia series, Chronicles of Narnia. I am a Christian. I grew up in a Christian household, so Narnia is something that would never be kept off our shelves. C.S. Lewis is an incredible writer, and I love all the books in the series, but for some reason, I can't even put my own finger on it. I just love The Horse and His Boy. It always comes out on top for me. It's a great adventure story. The characters are excellent, and it has some of the best quotes, I feel like. Even a traitor may mend. I have known the one that did, Edmund Pevensey. I think something else that I love about this series is that whole redemption story for Edmund. I'm a big lover of the redemption trope in a story. So I really like that one, and part of the reason why I'm still reading Iron Flame, that's my current read at the moment, is because one of the characters in that, Dane, he appears to be a bit of a-hole, but I have a feeling that there might be a bit of a character arc coming, and he might turn around and actually be one of the good guys. So that's what I'm hoping for in this. So redemption stories, trope, that's one of my big things. So yeah, Narnia was a founding story for me. Next one would be Harry Potter. I am a Ravenclaw, hence the Ravenclaw editions. These are actually my husband's, who is a Hufflepuff. Don't ask me why he has the Ravenclaw books. They belong to me now. I have claimed them for my own. Some of my old Bookstagram followers will know that I have a beautiful set of the original covers, the original UK covers back home, but they are all down home in Victoria at my parents' house, and we're currently living in a shed. It's a bit hard to tell that it's a shed. We've tried to cozy it up a bit, but until we have a place of our own, they are staying safe and sound down there because I don't want to just keep moving them back and forth. So I do have my own set of Harry Potter, but I have claimed this one for my own. And as for, just kicking my phone. As for my favorite Harry Potter, I do love Prisoner of Azkaban. I feel like that always comes out on top for most people, but I recently did a reread last year, and I actually found that I really loved Order of the Phoenix. In my first few reads of that as a kid, I don't want to say that I found it boring, but I found it less exciting than the others. It's a very big book, and there seems to be maybe not too much happening in it for a lot of it, but I don't know, this time around I really enjoyed it. So that one has come out on top for me this time. But yes, Harry Potter is one of the big loves of my life. It's just, this is escapism to me. The first time I read it, even the most recent time I read it, I find myself thinking about it all the time. I haven't found another series that has made me feel quite the same way, in that I can be doing the dishes and all I'm thinking about is, I just want to get back to Hogwarts. I just want to get back into Harry Potter. So yes, this is such a big book in my life. Definitely one of my most favorite stories ever. You can't beat a good versus evil story where good comes out on top, as it should. And then last but not least, I have Northanger Abbey by Jane Austen. So Jane Austen, again, big part growing up. Watched all the movies. That was something that we used to always do with my gran. We'd walk up to my gran's after school, when my mum and dad were still working, and gran would make us pikelets and scones, and we'd sit down and watch Pride and Prejudice, Matthew McFadden version, and my gran would say, "Oh, he is very handsome, isn't he?" And I'd say, yes, gran, he is. And that is where my love for Jane Austen started. So watching those movies with my gran and then getting a bit older and being able to read them for myself. Northanger Abbey, I love. It's probably, I think, her smallest book. Maybe Persuasion gives it a run for its money, but I do believe that it is her smallest book, smallest completed book, which I also like because I'm not one for reading a book that's huge just for the sake of being huge and like is wordy, and which like Jane can be a bit tedious at times, but I definitely don't find Northanger Abbey tedious at all. The characters are great. Catherine Morland is a girl after my own heart. She's, you know, I feel like there's a bit of a commentary on maybe her being a bit silly, but I don't find Catherine silly at all. Like, yes, she gets a little bit like, you know, involved in the whole, oh, possibly General Tilney might be a murderer, but she snaps out of it pretty quick, and she is pretty cluey as to who people really are, even though she does give Isabella a fair bit of her time. I think she knows that they're not exactly her people. And yeah, she's a pretty good judge of her character, I feel like. So I do love Catherine, and Henry Tilney is just so funny, so kind, so patient. I love him. He is great. So Northanger Abbey is right up there. It's also got a special place in my heart because when I first met my husband, we were in the UK, we were in Scotland, and then he had to come back home to Australia to finish off his schooling year out here. And then he was going to come back to the UK and start teaching over there. And while I was in the UK and he was here, we were talking to each other over the phone, and we actually read Northanger Abbey together over the phone, which is very special to me because I don't know any man who would read Jane Austen over the phone with me other than him. So it's quite romantic, and that is also why Northanger Abbey is quite special to me. So there you have it. 3 founding books of me. And yes, I will hopefully be back soon with some more booktube content. I hope you enjoyed this. It's just the beginning. You can see Gandalf curled up on the bed over there. I don't want to disturb him, but that's my little cat. I also have Gimli, who's a cavoodle, and he may make appearances as well, but it has been pouring outside, so he's all wet. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you stick around. Let me know if you have any advice or tips on YouTube. Don't know much about video editing, so this is going to be interesting to upload. But yeah, thank you. See you next time.